Hey, it's Samantha with the Rediscover Real Podcast. I am so thrilled to be here with you. Are you feeling overwhelmed, confused, or stuck on a hamster wheel from constantly seeking external tools, validation, and buffering in a search for more joy and fulfillment? Rediscover Real means to pull back the curtain and return to the foundation, peeling away the layers of mindsets, identities, and beliefs that no longer serve us. As we choose to grow, move forward, and show up fully as God intended, because at our very core, inside of you, lies everything already, as God created you absolutely perfect. We get to uncover and rediscover what's inside of us, and then to expand into what we're capable of. In this space, we'll dive into topics on personal finance and budgeting, mindset and growth, relationships, network marketing, and entrepreneurship. I'm sure there'll be some laughter and possibly a few tears along the way. I'm on this journey and you're invited. I'm holding out my hand for you. Will you join me? Let's rediscover real together. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Rediscover Real Podcast. Today, I want to talk about coaching and learning and why you would or why you wouldn't want to step into more of that or that at all. Now, there's a little bit of my background. I started being coached and getting a coach. I love learning, and I've always loved learning. Now, here's the thing. If you get stuck in learning mode without action and achieving things, that's a really not fun path to be on. And you're going to find yourself in situations where you're not winning. You don't feel like you're winning, but it's safe because you're learning, and you can sit in that bubble of, well, I just need to know more. I need to learn more before I take action on it, before I do. So I signed up for I'd signed up for a lot of little things, and I'd signed up for a couple of smaller courses, lower ticket things. I was reading a lot of books, and because of network marketing, which I am really thankful for network marketing. If you're in the industry, you'll often hear the term. It's basically, what's the phrase? Like learning with a compensation plan attached. So you can learn as you earn. We hear that. That's probably the phrase we hear a lot, but it's you're growing and you're learning, but you're also getting paid to do that because network marketing puts a spotlight on who you are and where you're at and where your mindset's at and a lot of things. And it is so good. Like, I think everyone should be part of a good, solid, not all of them are, network marketing company simply for that reason, because the growth involved and the way it shines a spotlight on where you're at and helps you step into growth is so good and takes work. And it is that learn to do by doing, but there's a lot of learning. But I see a lot of people go too far with that and get stuck in that learning bubble, myself included. I've been there, where you're reading all the books and doing all the courses and taking in all the things, but you're not actually taking action because you feel like you need to learn more before you can take action. Maybe you're a perfectionist, which isn't a bad thing. It's learning how to use those skills in ways that benefit you. So for me, I had stepped into some small courses and things like that, but I knew there were a lot of factors that played into why I got pushed into doing more growth and really diving into coaching and hiring a coach. Now, I'd signed up for like a life coaching program with a really popular kind of influencer, and I really liked her books and stuff, and it served me at that time. But then I was ready for more, and I felt like that was good, but there was no one-on-one coaching or hot seat or anything like that. And I felt like I I had some stuff. I knew I had stuff, but I didn't have the awareness or know how to ask myself good questions to be able to like basically to stand in front of the mirror and actually see what was going on. And so I paid for a bigger coaching program. It was still group coaching, but I got put on the hot seat in, I think it was the 3rd week. And I'd put up my hand for it, but I was in a place where there was a lot of things going on, personally, relationship wise, professionally, health wise. There were some big things going on. And I had never done anything like this before. And the coach, who's a fantastic coach, but different coaches jive with different people. And just like you jive with different people in relationships and friendships. And so I got put on the hot seat, and this coach was helping me walk through this thing. But I was stuck, and I was choosing to be stuck, and I didn't want it to be easy. I wanted it to be this big, complicated, hard thing. And at one point he literally was like, I might not be the right coach for you. And those were actually hard words to hear, because as a perfectionist and as someone who my core fears of being a bad or wrong person, that made me feel like I couldn't even I couldn't even be coached right, let alone coach people. And that was really hard to hear, but it cracked open it cracked open the like ball of mess that I had going on. And so, the program was really good. And as I continued through the program, he got me to a point where it kind of like, we were able to get to a place where he could crack that open, and we had some progress. And then I believe it was the following year. Yeah, it was the following year that I actually said yes to getting a one-on-one coach. Now, I did lots of other coaching and courses and conferences and stuff in the meantime, and they were good. It's not one thing, but getting a one-on-one coach was one of the best things I could do. And it was really scary. If you listen to the last episode talking about bravery and courage, it felt really uncomfortable, very uncomfortable to step into saying yes to paying that amount of money for a coach. And now the coach wasn't crazy expensive. Like, knowing what's out there now, it wasn't crazy expensive at all. But for where I was at in my life and where my income was at and those things, it was a lot of money. But it was the best thing I could do for every area of my life. And we walked through so much stuff. And I'm so thankful God brought that person into my life, because they asked the questions and held up the mirror for me to be able to see my garbage and unpack my stuff. And it was she's a mindset coach and fantastic. And I'm forever thankful for her, because I would not be who I am today. And I would not be here recording this podcast if it was not for her. And that coaching, I know I wouldn't be. And so that was the best thing I could do. Now, did I have to have that in order to be successful? No. I fully believe that I could have gotten there on my own. Would I have gotten there now by this in the same time frame? No, definitely not. But you can do it on your own. The point of coaching and courses is to accelerate and get you there faster. We have all the information out there. We can go find the information, whether you're taking a money mindset course or a business blueprint course or a social media course or a mindset course or whatever that is for you, a health course. All the information's out there. The coaches at Accountability, they provide the information to you in a condensed form so that you don't have to go find it and sift through it and sort it out. And they help, if it's a good coach, they'll help hold up the mirror so that you can gain awareness faster of where you're at. And so I was having this conversation with some people this week. Again, somebody was asking about coaching, and a lot of people were like, just do the action. And I fully believe that. You need, taking the courses in coaching, you still have to do the things to get where you want to go. That doesn't replace it at all. at all. But sometimes you do need someone to hold up that mirror or to help you. And it's kind of that like power up, it'll help you get there faster. But being very, very mindful and very careful that you're actually taking the action and not just consuming. So I hope that that's kind of helpful to unpack that, because we see a lot of coaching going on and a lot of courses that are available. So, and I wanted to unpack like, why, what's the deal? And especially as someone who, I have courses and coaching coming out, and this is something I really walk through of like, is this, just because I have the knowledge of the information, is this actually beneficial to people? Is this something that people should be spending their money on? Like from just as a personal place, do I ethically, is this something that I want to offer the world? Even though like knowing that it's information and things that people really want and need and crave, but is it something that's actually beneficial to them? And so unpacking that and walking that out has been huge. Now there's seasons, and it doesn't replace doing the things and taking the action. And that's the key. So it's both. How can you hold space for both? And what if it's both, not one or the other, which is sometimes hard or challenging us because you want a black and white answer, right? But what if it could be both? So where's an area in your life that you're like, it would be really helpful to have somebody, I don't know a lot about this topic. How can I level up in this area? How can I, get that boost? Where do I maybe need more accountability? Accountability comes from within, but having someone that it's no different than when you go to a job or you're in school, or you have a personal trainer. When you have somebody else, you're more likely to show up for an external thing than you are for yourself, which that in and of itself is something that we get to work on. But when you're starting out with some of those things, or if you're digging into something that feels really unfamiliar or scary or requires bravery, having that external source can be really beneficial. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean one-on-one coaching. If you're in network marketing, a lot of the tools might already be there for you and the training on a tactical level. But asking yourself, what do you really like? What's the area of weakness for you? And not just sitting in, well, I need to learn more. Where do you get to take action? Where do you know that one piece that you can go take action on today? Versus where do you need to learn something new and do at the same time? And if you have a good coach, you'll be doing as you're learning and putting those things into practice. Whether it's a mindset coach, and like I like to say, you get to do the mental push-ups, because it's no different than having a personal like trainer coach where you're at the gym and you have to do the reps. Just because you have the coach doesn't mean you do less reps, right? Probably do more. And that's the whole point. And so whether that's, again, with a mindset coach or personal finance and money mindset, where do you get to step into doing those mental push-ups? All right. So I hope that this has been helpful to kind of unpack this and give you some perspective on coaching and courses and why are they beneficial and how to step into that in a balanced way. You can hold space for both. All right. So I'd love to hear, do you feel like you've been in a learning bubble and like just a consuming mode? Or do you feel like you're fairly balanced? Or do you feel like you've kind of been staying stuck and maybe you need to step into some learning and accountability and having someone help you hold up the mirror? Love to hear. You just finished another episode of the Rediscover Real Podcast. My hope is always that you come away encouraged. And if you found this valuable, would you share it with a friend? And be sure to tag me on social media. I love seeing your takeaways. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And I would so appreciate it if you took a second to rate and review this podcast so that more people can find it. Also, take a peek in the show notes for a link to my website that has a special gift just for you for listening today. As always, I'm on the journey and you're invited. Let's rediscover real together.